The stage was set for a night of laughter and charm on the Spotlight Hour, a live talk show known for its glitzy celebrity banter. The audience buzzed with anticipation, the lights casting a warm glow over the sleek studio. On one side of the plush velvet couch sat Denzel Washington, a Hollywood titan whose gravitas and warmth had captivated audiences for decades. Opposite him, in a modest suit, sat President Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso, his calm demeanor a quiet contrast to the evening's electric energy. The segment was meant to be playful, a friendly exchange of wit between a cinematic legend and a world leader. The host, grinning widely, tossed a lighthearted prompt at Denzel. "Ever thought of running for president, Denzel? You'd be up against this guy." The crowd chuckled, and Denzel, with his signature charm, leaned forward, his eyes twinkling. "I'd bring some training day swagger to the White House. No offense, President Traoré, but your suit looks like it's been through a few revolutions." The audience roared with laughter, the kind that fills late-night TV. It was a harmless jab, the sort Denzel was known for delivering with effortless charisma. But the air shifted subtly as Traoré, unruffled, leaned forward, his hands clasped gently, waiting for the laughter to fade. Traoré's gaze met Denzel's, steady and unyielding yet kind. In a voice soft but resonant, he began to speak. "I don't wear power, Mr. Washington," he said, each word deliberate, like a stone dropped into still water. "I carry it." The room fell silent, the audience caught off guard by the weight of his tone. In Burkina Faso, there are mothers who walk hours to find clean water for their children. There are schools with no roofs, where students learn under the sun's mercy. Under the sun's mercy. If I wore a suit worth thousands, I'd be taking food from their tables. Denzel's smile faltered, his eyes softening as Traoré continued. "You tell stories that move the world, stories of courage, pain, and triumph. I carry the weight of lives that hang on every choice I make, even the ones no one sees. If style could rebuild a village, I'd wear diamonds." The studio was still, no claps, no nervous laughter, just a profound quiet. Denzel leaned back, his hand resting on his chin, visibly moved. Something in Traoré's words had pierced through the Hollywood sheen, touching a raw nerve. The cameras caught it. A glint of moisture in Denzel's eyes quickly blinked away, but not before the world noticed. Backstage, the mood was heavy, not tense, but reflective. Denzel sat alone for a moment, staring at the floor, a bottle of water untouched in his hand. A producer approached cautiously. "You good, Denzel?" He nodded, but his silence spoke louder. The clip was already online. A 90-second moment titled "Denzel Washington Humbled by President Ibrahim Traoré." It hit 1 million views in under an hour. Social media erupted, not just with likes but with raw emotion. One user wrote, "Oh, that wasn't a comeback. That was truth dressed in humility." Another posted, "I watched this with my dad, and we both got quiet. This is bigger than TV." In the dressing room, Denzel stood and walked to where Traoré sat, flipping through a worn book of poetry. "Mr. President," Denzel began, his voice low. "I didn't see that coming. Thank you." Traoré looked up, his smile gentle. The two men shook hands, a Hollywood icon and a Sahel leader, their worlds colliding in a moment of unspoken respect. By morning, the clip had crossed borders, shared in languages from Spanish to Arabic, with captions like "When Dignity Spoke." The world listened. In Burkina Faso, the reaction was visceral. In dusty markets and crowded classrooms, radios replayed Traoré's words. A farmer in a small village paused his work, listening to the broadcast, and said to his neighbor, "He spoke for us all." Students gathered around a single phone, watching their president with pride, not as a distant politician, but as a father figure who carried their struggles. In the U.S., Denzel posted a brief video on Instagram, his voice steady but emotional. "I went for a laugh, and he gave me truth. I've acted in films with kings and heroes, but this was real." The post garnered millions of views, and the comments flooded with stories of personal reflection. A teacher wrote, "I showed this to my students. They didn't just watch, they felt it." Meanwhile, in a small hospital in Ouagadougou, 10-year-old Amina, battling malaria, watched the clip with her grandmother. Her eyes lit up. "He's like my papa," she whispered, scribbling a note. "Dear President Traoré, you made me smile, even though I'm sick. You didn't yell, you just spoke. I want to be brave like you." Her grandmother, moved, shared the note on Twitter with the caption, "A child's hope in a hospital bed. By evening, the tweet had millions of likes. Traoré, in a modest hotel room in Washington, D.C., saw Amina's note. He paused, his eyes lingering on the screen. Without a word, he turned to his aide. "I'll cancel my next meeting. I need to make a call." At the hospital, Amina's mother answered the phone, her voice trembling. "Hello?" A calm voice replied. "This is President Ibrahim Traoré. May I speak to Amina?" The room froze. Amina, weak but beaming, took the phone. "Is it really you?" she asked. Traoré chuckled softly. "Yes, little one, but you're the brave one. Your note may be stronger today." Amina giggled, her pain momentarily forgotten. "You're my friend now," she said. Traoré's voice softened. "Always, Amina." After the call, he sat quietly, staring out at the city lights, his mind on the small hospital room back home. That night, he decided this moment wouldn't just be a viral clip. It would be a spark. He would turn it into a movement for truth and dignity. The studio remained hushed long after the cameras stopped rolling. Denzel lingered near the stage, his hands in his pockets, Traoré's words echoing in his mind. "You meant every word, didn't you?" he asked quietly, approaching the president. Traoré nodded. "I don't speak for applause. I speak because truth isn't a performance. It's a responsibility." Denzel exhaled, a weight lifting yet settling deeper. "You carry the world's stories," Traoré added, his eyes kind but piercing. "But have you ever told your own?" The question landed like a quiet thunderbolt. Denzel nodded, his throat tight. The clip wasn't just trending, it was reshaping conversations. In Los Angeles, Denzel's wife Pauletta watched the moment alone. She'd seen her husband command stages and screens, but this was different. She texted him, "You've moved millions, but tonight, you were moved. Hold on to this." Denzel read the message, his eyes welling up. For the first time in years, he opened his journal and began writing. Not lines for a role, but a letter to Traoré. "You didn't just speak to me," he wrote. "You spoke to the part of me I've hidden behind the spotlight." The next day, Denzel shared the letter on social media, paired with a photo of Traoré standing calmly on set. "President Traoré, you didn't raise your voice or throw a punch. You gave me truth in your silence. I saw my fears in your strength, my doubts in your certainty, You reminded me that greatness isn't in the spotlight. It's in the service. I'm listening, and I'm learning." The post went viral, shared by activists, parents, and even world leaders. A teenager in Chicago commented, "I want to be calm like that when people try to break me." In Ouagadougou, Traoré's office was flooded with letters, but one stood out, a note from a 13-year-old girl in Atlanta named Kemi. "Dear Mr. President, I get teased for my accent, but you made me feel proud to be different. Thank you for being you." Traoré read it twice, then turned to his team. "This isn't about a TV moment. This is about hearts waking up." Oh, hearts waking. In Brooklyn, a 14-year-old boy named Jamal sat on his stoop, replaying the clip on his cracked phone. He'd been mocked at school for his worn clothes, his dreams of becoming a writer dismissed. His mother showed him Traoré's words. "The world doesn't need louder voices. It needs deeper truths." Jamal paused the video, grabbed a notebook, and wrote, "Dear President Traoré, I was laughed at today, but I didn't fight back. I thought of you, and I felt strong." He didn't send it, but the act of writing steadied him. He slept soundly that night, a rare peace settling in. Traoré, meanwhile, received a scanned copy of a similar letter from a 15-year-old in Lagos. "You made me believe I can be quiet and still be heard." It read, "Traoré, hooray." Traoré arranged a call. When the boy Tund heard his voice, he stammered, "Is this real?" Laughed gently. "It's real, Tund, and so is your strength." 5 days later, Denzel landed in Ouagadougou. No cameras, no fanfare, just a man in a simple jacket. Traoré greeted him with a warm handshake. "I didn't expect Hollywood to travel so quietly," he teased. Denzel smiled, but his eyes were serious. "Your words didn't just hit me, they changed me. I came to see where truth like that comes from." They sat under a mango tree near a community center, children playing nearby, unaware of the history unfolding. Denzel handed Traoré a folded paper. "This is every regret I've carried. Every time I let fame speak louder than truth." Traoré read it, then nodded. "When we face ourselves, not the world." A young boy ran up, offering Denzel a beaded bracelet. Denzel knelt, accepting it with a smile that felt more real than any red carpet grin. In a small barbershop in a rural Burkina town, men gathered around a grainy TV replaying the moment. A young man, Moussa, wiped his eyes. He didn't just speak to Denzel. He spoke to me, to all of us who've been laughed at for being small. The barber, an elder with decades of stories, nodded. That's not a president. That's a soul. They turned off the TV, sitting in silence, not out of emptiness, but because the moment felt sacred. Across the Atlantic, Pauletta Washington penned a letter to Traoré. A dear President Traoré, you didn't just touch my husband. You reminded men everywhere that strength isn't loud. It's steady. Thank you for giving the world a mirror. Traoré read it in his office, then wrote in his journal. We don't need louder battles. We need quieter truths. The moment transcended borders. The clip was subtitled into dozens of languages. Hindi, Japanese, Amharic, shared not for clout, but for its raw honesty. Universities analyzed it, poets quoted it, and parents used it to teach their children about grace. A late-night host who initially mocked the exchange returned to air, voice subdued. I got it wrong. That wasn't just a TV moment. It was a lesson in humanity. In Burkina Faso, a school named its library the Voice of Truth, after Traoré. The moment had become a symbol, a call to reflect, to listen, to heal. On the seventh day, Denzel appeared on a quiet morning show. No script, just a chair and a mic. I've played heroes, but I've never felt truth like I did that night. President Traoré didn't just speak to me. He spoke to the masks we all wear. He showed me peace is stronger than pride. The audience was silent, tears falling quietly. That evening, Traoré received an email from Denzel. I've spoken to millions, but I need to speak to you man to man. I'm coming back, not as a star, but as a student. Traoré replied simply, come. Truth grows in the soil of struggle. When Denzel returned, they visited a rural school together. No press, just two men sharing stories with children. At a small press conference, Denzel spoke first. This man didn't fight my joke with a jab. He fought it with truth. Ask yourself, when did you last listen to someone's heart? Traoré added. We don't heal by shouting. We heal by seeing each other's scars. The crowd didn't cheer. They stood silent, moved. The clip hit 50 million views, but its real impact was in the letters, the conversations, the quiet moments of reflection it sparked worldwide. Dear viewer, if this story stirred something in you, if it made you pause or feel, please subscribe, like, and share your thoughts below. Not for the algorithm, but to spread this truth further. What moment hit you hardest? Let this be a beginning, not an end.